Hi, welcome back. It's part 3 for today. And I am Susan Maud Buchser-Lochocki, a presidential candidate from the 2024 presidential election in the U.S. And as you know, I have a lawsuit pending with the Supreme Court, and I'm waiting for judgment on that. So that's why I have not conceded the election. I'm still a candidate. Now, I am going to talk about the tariffs and treaties and becoming a state. So, we have somewhere along the line, Congress and the president decided to just let everybody sell their goods here in the USA without paying a price. We started treating the whole world like they were a united state without getting the benefits of them being a united state. And this is what we're seeing now with these tariffs. So if states, if countries out there are not happy with the tariffs they are being charged, then they have a right to become a united state. Plain and simple as that. So, you don't like the tariffs? Become a united state. Contact the president, contact the vice president, say, hey, I want to be a state rather than my own country. We would like to join you in your union. And then we can start the process. It's as simple as that. So, the tariffs are put out there so that the United States people will actually purchase United States products and support your neighbor and your neighbor's neighbor and the people at your church and the people at your school and the people all over the United States. So let's start supporting our own people first. Remember, it is USA first, right? Not the global world first, not especially Europe first, and certain countries in Asia first. It is the United States first, if you're a United States citizen. Now, if you're living in Thailand, you might want to put Thailand first, and that's understandable. And maybe putting Thailand first means maybe considering becoming a United State. Contact the president, contact the vice president and say, hey, we don't want to pay tariffs. We want to become a united state. And see what happens. Nobody said we have to stop at 50. I mean, it's a nice number, but we don't have to stop here. And, we are getting to a place where it might be worthwhile. Because, so far we've been giving state status unofficially to many countries out there. But it's time to stop that and make it different. So if you want to be your own country, be your own country. But there is something called tariffs. And to the U.S. people, if you don't want to pay the tariffs, then buy the Made in the USA items. You don't need to have things from all over the world. You can buy them here. If you want to go to Thailand or Russia or Ukraine or Israel or Syria, you can. You can go to all those places and you can experience what they have to offer there. You don't have to have all their products available in the United States. Or if you want them available, then you have to pay for them being delivered here, period. So it will cost more. But maybe it's also nice to have variety, and it's also nice to travel. So that when you go to those places, I mean, you also might want to go to Switzerland, like places that aren't warring, like Switzerland or Congo or Rwanda or Uganda or Ethiopia or many other places, Chile or Brazil, places that aren't warring. You can go there. And then you can enjoy the products there. We don't need everything here in this country. But if it does come here, then it has a right to be taxed. And if you want it from these places, you can have it, but you just have to pay a little bit more. Is that wrong? No. What it is giving jobs to the local people, giving jobs back to the U.S. citizens. So, is that wrong? No. It's USA first, as far as I know. Trump feels the same way. He's not president of the world. He's president of the United States. Now, like I said, if the countries around the world want to join the United States, they can. And then we'll give them the things that they probably were getting for free before. And now they're actually having to pay for some things. So, it probably was quite nice being some other country other than a U.S. country, a U.S. state. But the joyride is done. It's done. So that's what the tariffs are about. They're about bringing business back to the USA, to the U.S. citizens, so that they can have a living and get out of poverty. Have good quality of life. And it also brings us to maybe the fact that once they have some money in the bank, they might take a vacation someplace to enjoy whatever they were maybe wanting to enjoy before. I mean, it's not that they can't buy these things here. You can still buy things from Africa, from Asia, all over. So yeah, they might be like, 5 cents more. That's what we're talking about, folks. On the other hand, I think that some of the European countries and other countries around the world are actually not. They're sucking up the extra cost, which is also fine, because we've been protecting them and doing all sorts of things for them for the longest time. And it's time that they pay for that service. But, yeah. So, as we move from the tariff concept to becoming a United State, it's something I already approached back in 2020 and in 22 and now again in 24 and now it's 25 and I'm still saying the same thing. If you liked the service you were getting before and you want that again, you may want to consider becoming a state. On the other hand, there are other countries out there. So maybe there's a country closer to where you live that you want that special relationship with. So maybe it's time for countries to either join up or for them to stay independent. That's up to you, your government, and your people. We in the USA, we worry about our people. And you should worry about yours. Focus on giving them a good quality of life. And I don't just mean the men, I mean also the women. So for too long, women's voices have gone unheard, and it's unacceptable. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. Okay, so I think I covered that too. I think that's enough for now. I don't need to say more. That was a big one. So yeah, we are currently working on our country, getting it back working in a good way. We're not giving away our things for free anymore. That's what the world is finding out. And there's room for more leadership. I also feel that it would not be the worst idea to have a representative government leader from each continent. We have the North America and South America. Then we have Europe. And we have Africa. Then we have, it's not continent-based. Then we have the Middle East, which I think is a whole region, Arab region in between. And then we have the Far East, or Asia. I suppose we also have then the Pacific. So, we probably could use a specific group. I mean, maybe that, a specific group based on global rather than financial. Because I think a lot of the other organizations that get together periodically, they're more based on who's making the most money, and or who has the biggest economies. Whereas it's also about the whole world, and there's the Pacific Islanders is a big region that is a specialized region of water issues that is going unheard. And this is another point of why we need more inclusive global coverage rather than financial coverage or population coverage. So that is the end of my talk for today. I hope it makes sense, and I hope I don't, in my part 2, I don't mean to offend people, but I just, I have been living with this conflict my whole life, and the recent things that I've discovered about it is just unacceptable. I don't know how it's gone on so long, and how things, but I mean, I do. So the problem is that we have a lot of Christian leaders who think that there's nothing wrong with having taken over land and just put another name on it, because they have the belief of the doctrine of discovery, which is what the Pope put out back in the Renaissance period, and the Christians have been following that doctrine, bringing crusades and all sorts of things ever since. I mean, before that too, but even more so. So, where is the moral authority of Christianity and of many religions around the world, who think that it's okay to steal land and kill and rape the people there, and destroy entire towns and villages? Is that your God telling you to do that? Okay, I am going to stop there now, because that's what it's really shockingly about. And shame on you all. So, until you religious people get the hate out of your heart and you realize that the world is big and has room for everybody, we have no hope at peace. And you're the problem. Okay, so that's really it. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Susan Maud Buchser-Lochocki. I am still a presidential candidate from the 2024 presidential election. And I'm sorry to be so truthful, but, somebody's got to be truthful. And so it starts right here with me. You can find out more about me at my website, susan4usa.com. That's Susan, the number 4usa.com. And I'll see you next Wednesday and then next weekend again. All right. Let's hope peace is possible. Let's do it.